Yeah, my name is Rodney. I'm down here, trying to stay alive. You know what I mean? It has its ups and downs.
Bring the mic so you.
It has its ups and downs, and people, everybody starving, trying to get themselves together or not, trying to fight these demons.
What you think going on with that helicopter? They
Uh,
looking for somebody, you think?
I know they probably looking for somebody down this thing. It can be
Well,
anybody.
yeah, I'm just trying to let it go off in the distance a little bit so we can hear you better. Yeah, go ahead, Rodney.
Right? It can be anybody they're looking for down here. You know what I mean? Everybody just have their own little world, their own little ventures. You
Okay,
know.
right. So let's do a little throwback, Rodney. Tell us about your childhood growing up.
Um, I'm a single mother. Single mother. Raised me. My grandmother, grandparents. Family, friends, and I couldn't say I was a bad child or had a bad childhood, but I do what I do, and you know, just like any child, I mean, you pay for what you do. You know what I mean? And certain people in this world lost that balance. You know what I mean? Um, More morals, respect. And the generation this day is lost. You know what I mean? I can really say they lost. You know what I mean? Young boys trying to beat up on old heads and trying to be something that they not, and videos and raps and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I love my videos. I love my raps. But it doesn't have the raps today. Don't really have a positive message for the kids. And in my era, uh, we had EPMD, Run DMC, Curtis Blow, people who sung about something, life, you know what I mean? Digital Underground, I'm versatile on all kinds of music. I like jazz, I like blues, I like a little rock and roll, It's, but somewhere down the line, as I grew older, uh, I wanted to do something different, you know what I mean? I was raised in the Northeast. Well, I'm from North Philadelphia. Let's not get that twisted. But uh, but I went to George Washington High School. Didn't graduate, but hey, I had a hell of an experience as a child. Had basically everything I wanted, but not too much without punishments and things like that. Beatings. Boy, did I get them. But as I got older, 16, cars, trying to make fast money, you all how that is. Um, but as I got older and went different ways in my life, traveled a little bit, you know, ventured out to Harrisburg, had some, beautiful children, I'm a grandfather. My kids are great. My youngest son, he's in Florida, doing good, great, I have grandchildren, and my other children are in Harrisburg, beautiful children. My daughter looks just like me, and but sometimes she has my attitude or my temper, but she has learned as she got older to curb that because she has children, of her own. So she's setting that right tone for them with the discipline and morals and the respect that all children should have for elders. You know what I mean? Open doors for women, open doors for older people. You know, but I still have those morals. But somewhere down here, I've learned to curve certain things in my life because my temper and people that don't know me don't really realize that they can get hurt. You know what I mean? I'm not a violent person. Let's not get that, misunderstood. I love everybody, white, black, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Um, the women down here is crazy, but I have fun with them. You know what I mean? Not in that way, but friendships. You know what I mean? Just learning their life. You know what I mean? While engaging in things. I ain't trying to put their business out there, but I have a beautiful friend that I have two beautiful friends that I spend time with, and that's all I can say.
What happened to your dad?
Well, my biological father was never around. I don't know who he is, but I know his name. My stepfather, Lawrence, Larry, you know what I mean? Big man, good man, disciplined man, quiet. But when he great getting his mood, you better say he's like at least about 6 feet away. But he disciplined me a few times and taught me to be a man. You know what I mean? My mother raised me, but still, I needed that man in my life. You know what I mean? A man that's gonna show me the ropes of how to be a man, um, do things in life to work. Treat women right. Which I do. That's why I have my little friends or whatever, and I like to protect my little female friends. You know what I'm saying? Because down here, anything can happen, and a few friends of mine down here who are female look for me. You know what I mean? So, you know. I have a
Okay.
few young bucks down here too, old head, you know what I mean?
So yeah, Rodney, that's a great thing, man. You out here helping out our females. They definitely need to be protected because I have heard some stories about what these guys do to women out here. So we need a warrior like you to stay holding it down, brother. That's a great thing you're doing.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Now you good.
a lot of these women that have so-called boyfriends or men in their life, it's like they the suckers for real, because they doing the man's job. You know what I mean? Putting their lives on the line, doing ill things or unspeakable things just to get a couple of bucks. You know what I mean? And then when they come back, they so-called man is upset. You know what I mean? And it's like, how you gonna take it out on a female for trying to support you? you know, not dudes down here. And, man, they take big chances. Cause I know a few females, friends that tell me a few stories, or they come back beat up or less money, or didn't get what they wanted. They negotiate the price, and next thing but I try and tell them, look, negotiate the price, but at least get half up front. You know what I mean? And make sure um, you have some type of protection. You know what I mean?
Why you think men, come down here and deal with women who are in addiction?
Well, my opinion is that I think that the men ain't getting what they want at home, so they can abuse the women down here, or do certain ill things that they think they can't do at home. Um, you know, I mean, like I said, I have a few female friends that I do look out for. I get, I help out, make model cars. You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to be no snitch, but license plate number and everything. And if they
That's
come back
great,
safe,
man.
cool. All that thing's deleted. You know what I mean?
That's what's
But
up.
gotta protect our women. And these guys or boys down here ain't really realizing that.
No, they don't.
You know?
That dope just got them lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
So let's talk about addiction, Rodney. Let's get into that world.
Right.
What are you, doing out here? No judgment.
Well, I mean, I ain't gonna hide it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do drink a lot. I drink, and sometimes I might snort some, powder, whatever. I mean, I ain't into that. I'm scared of needles. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. You know what I mean? But I try to help supply certain things that the people down here may want, or if I have something extra, just like a little side hustle, I guess you could say. And just to help them so they don't have to reuse dirty needles or needles that they've already had the stuff in. Um, I like to try and stay very clean, even though lately, my hygiene is up, but it's not the way it's supposed to be. I mean, it's not the way I want it, because it's not places down here where you can go and wash up. Certain places down here like Prevention Point, you can't do what you want in there to get yourself clean. Rock and all that. But sometimes you have to go into restaurants or McDonald's or Burger King's and use the bathroom just to keep yourself clean. You know what I mean? My hygiene is really important to me.
What's your living situation?
Well, to be honest, I'm just pillow to post, or if not, I'm out here on these trees or in the cut somewhere. You know what I mean?
So you don't have a home?
Well, nah. I mean,
I hear you, brother. We're not here to shame you or judge you. We
Nah.
want you to be real and honest,
I respect that.
Yeah, we don't never judge over here.
Right.
A lot of people could have been homeless or are homeless or on the verge of being homeless, so
Right.
we don't think of you any less. Real talk. So yeah, what is it like being out here, man? Tell us your life from when you wake up to when you go to bed. Give us the rundown.
Right. Well, depending on the situation, you know what I mean. I carry my blankets or a
Talking to
pillow.
the mic. Yeah,
Oh.
talking to the mic, Rodney.
I mean, I carry a pillow or a blanket. Well, not a pillow, but a blanket or something heavy that's gonna keep me warm. If not, I have, like I said, I have a female friends, and we stay together. We all keep that body heat. You know what I mean? But it's sometimes you gotta sleep with one eye open, one eye closed, and I learned that a long time ago because you know it's it's rough. But I be telling dudes like, look, man, go ahead. I'm a peaceful guy right now, but we can get this thing on. You know what I mean? And I ain't out here to hurt nobody. I'm just trying to live my life and get it back the way it's supposed to be, or way it should be. Because I lost my parents, a couple of years back, and I know they probably be ashamed of me being out here because I know they expecting more from me. I'm 55. I'll be 56 in October, and I mean my goal is to just get my own place. I don't care if it's a room or maybe work with one of these programs to give me an apartment. You know what I mean? You got pathways, and all these places. I mean, the government really should be helping more in trying to get people out here who wants to be in a home out the streets. But our city, our mayor, our government, they about the paper, they about the rich. You know what I mean? Man, like start from the bottom, work your way up. You know what I'm saying? My opinion, I think Obama was the best president to try and do it if the Democrats, the Republicans, really tried to work with him and help him, but racism is still alive, and I'm saying that's facts.
Since you're out here, what is it like dealing with the cops out here?
The police is alright. And you have good cops, you have bad cops, or knucklehead cops, but I've dealt with police, from my teens on up. But I've also showed them respect because they're in a dangerous job. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have no ill feelings towards the police, but sometimes you find one who's been on the force a little bit too long. You know what I mean? Who's really old school, and sometimes you have to be 3 steps ahead of them. And not in footsteps, mental. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. How you doing? It ain't brown nosing. It's just how to conduct yourself as a man. You know what I'm saying? A man wants to be treated as a man. You know what I mean? So you have to get that respect to get respect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to take nobody's pride or not like that. But it's hectic. But they're here to protect. I wish they would protect the women a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And get to know them and ask them like, yo, we know you out here. It's anything you may need or yeah, here's a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know a few cops, officers back in my time, or in my time, when I was coming up, who really looked up or looked out for me. You know what I'm saying? As a child, well, not as a child, but as a teenager.
Rodney, all the stuff that you have been through in your life, man, what lessons have you learned from it?
Times have changed. The the parents aren't really in these kids' lives. I've never seen a teenager or 11 or 12-year-old girl out here in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, and then you got young boys out here 2, 3 in the morning meeting them, and it's like, wait a minute, y'all kids ain't, man. My daughter was out here that time, like, it's on. You know what I mean? But and then they wear these little scampy clothes. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? And then how is a father supposed to take care of his own if you ain't paying attention to what's going on in your household? A man's supposed to be a king of his castle. You know what I mean? If you ain't trying to be a king in your castle, slide over and let the next nigga in there. You know what I mean?
That's facts, man. So Rodney, what are your fears in life? What are you afraid of?
Not completing my life journey. Being something that my kids or grandkids can look up to. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm at stalemate. You know what I mean? And I know I should be doing more. You know what I mean? But right now, my alcoholism and, it's not, I can say alcoholism, but it's like a pastime for me. And it's like, I'd rather be out in the open, but it's not even worth it anymore because, I'm getting older. You know what I mean? I want something I can sit back, my lazy boy, and watch my TV and have my girl bring me a beer or something, or have her laid up with me on the couch. You know what I'm saying? Watching movies, girly chicks. You know what I mean? Girly flicks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. 'Cause we're not getting any younger, man. That's the thing. You don't want to be out here in your 60s and still ripping and running. So let's talk about alcoholism real quick. How you got how that came about? How you got started?
Well, I've been drinking since I was a teenager. You know what I mean? Cases of beer, going to keg parties and hanging out with the boys or the girls or whatever that was there. And then as I grew older, hiding beer or just going in to get beer. And it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my beer. You know what I mean? Love my beer. Love my 211.
How many times a day do you drink?
Uh, to be honest with you, I drink all day. You know what I mean?
Keep it real. Keep it 100,
But
brother.
I drink all day. But if I can, you know, cut it back, I will. But it sucks when you gotta get the shakes in the morning, or shakes because you want that beer, and then you got these little delis and bars that ain't opening up on time, or opening up at a certain time like 10, 11 o'clock. What the heck? How you gonna have a business you open up late like that? My time, my day, they open up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right. What are your short-term goals?
Good question. Good question. Trying to get my life back in order. You know what I mean? First, I have to strengthen up my manhood. You know what I'm saying? And that for me, that means putting my priorities more ahead of what it is that I'm doing out here. You know, but my long-time goal is to find me a good woman, and like I said, be in my own crib. I mean, I'll be 56 this year. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to be out here and then something catch me on a dum because these brothers out here shooting at anything. You know what I mean? They can't even shoot straight. You know what I mean? You might as well just shoot at a billboard. You know what I mean?
That's real talk, man. Yo, man, but to take us home, Rodney, man, you a real G, man. You, by the way, you look like you in your early 40s, man. Real talk,
I can dig it. Thank you,
real
brother.
talk.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, man, if you can go back in time to give your younger self advice, what would you tell your younger self?
Keep your behind in school. Maybe go to the military or find a career that really interests you. But also warn him of the mistakes that you made ahead. You know what I mean, and try to avoid them. You know what I'm saying? I've thought about that as well. You know what I mean? If I can go back in time and retrace all this, man, it'd be a whole different world for me. I wouldn't even be out here. I might be in California in my own penthouse. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk. We wish him nothing but success, man. Hold it down. Continue looking out for the females. And we'll do follow-ups. This is not the end. We'll follow you on this journey to see where it takes you. Hopefully it'll take you to all your stuff that you want to happen.
Facts,
all right, brother?
Facts.
So, don't be bitter. Be better. And we out there. Anything else you would like to add, Rodney?
Know better, do better.